What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Messy Workbench. I'm Valor, and you know what this is all about because you saw that title and that thumbnail because, yes, this is... Well, I don't really exactly have a name for it because it hasn't really seen much use yet, but I've been calling it Big Blue. This is obviously a modified NERF Kronos with an extended barrel, a rail on top with the barrel rail matching, obviously, and a T-pole, and it's been converted to use katana magazines. And this is the katana magwell made by My Venom on Thingiverse and Reddit and all that. Goes by Chauncey Klein on Facebook and the Nerf groups. Yeah, this is a commission build for Jomo. He wanted a really nice sort of katana-fed Kronos, a nice Magnum, as it were. So I decided to build it, but I saw with other people building theirs, they would leave the brass exposed out front, and I thought that looked kind of ugly. Fair enough, you're going to have the barrel sticking out because of the brass and everything, but cover it up somehow. Like, one of the best ways to cover it, which I've seen, is Chris Cartaya, or Cartaya, however you would pronounce his name, covering it up with like a carbon fiber barrel and stuff like that. And even then, it doesn't really fit the look of the blaster, like in terms of the lines. Sure, it's just a round tube, but yeah. So I designed a barrel extension that is quite aggressive and orange tip for safety, obviously. That follows the lines and keeps motifs from the various parts of the blaster, and then the holster and everything matched, sort of. Yeah, this is a sort of metallic candy blue with brass accents because gold is a bit too gaudy for my tastes, and I was inspired by the black stripe down the middle of the Kronos, the Deadpool Kronoses. But yeah, I designed this barrel to match up perfectly with the rail that was on Thingiverse already, and then I added the T-pole, obviously. This is a K26 Kronos, which should be fairly obvious. And the barrel is a little bit shorter than most people make them, but that's so I can put on a scar or whatever later and still have the scar not really come out the front of the barrel much. And even with this, the barrel being slightly shorter, I'm still getting an average of about 160, 165 with this thing. And it takes katana mags, obviously. There is a bit of an issue with this katana magwell. It's a nice snug fit, which is good for it not really coming out. But the actual locking piece in here doesn't stick out all that far, which is why the magwell is snug. And that actually causes a problem with katana mags with the stock follower in it, because any sort of little squeeze on the I was trying to find one of my others so I wouldn't have to unload this one, but let me pull this follower back. But any sort of squeeze, like in the lightest little bit of squeeze, and that follower is not going anywhere. One thing I'd like to see in the future, in like future revisions of the katana mag or whatever, is like a slightly different follower or something. Or the tolerances are just way too tight in here, and even though I've greased this with some white lithium grease, it's still getting caught in this thing, so I have a lot of feeding issues with it. Other than that, it fires really well whenever I only have like one or two loaded in the magazine. I can just chamber it, and this is a sort of just kind of a pusher style breech with a 17/32 barrel and pusher with a sleeve of 9/16 act as like the chambering piece. But yeah, let me fire. You can barely see that. But this thing hits really hard, and it's quite accurate, even though all I've done is crowned the barrel, like the end of the barrel. And even though the locking mechanism piece doesn't stick out all that far, it still locks it in place decently well. I mean, it moves a little bit. One thing I'd like to see from Venom is a revised design where the magwell is not quite as tight. Like, he might bring it out by a millimeter or two, and then have the locking mechanism piece actually stick out a little bit farther. But yeah, you can chamber pretty much any dart you want. as long as it's a half dart and it fits into katana mag. Pull it back, it's quite nice. And here's a cut down act dart. It's a little bit long for this, but it should still work. Yeah. And obviously this is dead spaced in here and everything. And the main way that this thing works is you have the air restrictor plate, and then you drill a hole in it. Then you have about 3 inches of 17/32 brass. It's kind of crimped in on the end from being cut with one of these, which gives you a nice sort of a crimped in end, if you can see that. Focus. It's kind of hard to tell on this one because it's not been cut that aggressively. But yeah, I'm very proud of this. And unlike most of my other builds, this has a matte paint job, which gives the metallic a really, really pretty sort of satin look. But yeah, I am very, very proud of this thing. And I am glad that Jomo really likes it. I might have to print him off some of the... I might have to design a better follower that is not quite so tight in the middle section here. So that that doesn't interact with the sides as much. Or I could just make it so it interacts, or it doesn't interact with the sides, but has a little bit more give in terms of the internal area here. So, yeah. Which, even though that is a problem, these things are quite easy to take apart and clean and everything because of these tabs. That is one thing I do like about the katana mags. These are my my first run ones that I had pre-ordered that took ages to get to me. But that's a argument for a whole nother day. But yeah. If you like this and you want to support the channel, all the relevant links, Patreon and everything is down in the doobly-doo. Yeah, this channel would not be able to continue forward without my lovely patrons on Patreon and people who support me by buying things from me on Etsy, which I will have a video up soon because I am going to be adding a lot more stuff to my Etsy store. And yeah, you might want to keep an eye on it if you like Fallout. And yes, again, links down below and everything. And I think you're going to like the next build I'm going to be putting up before End War. And yes, thanks all for watching. What's good? I have some Gen 2 white worker darts in here, which one thing I've noticed with this thing, even though I have the barrel mildly waxed, I'm not sure if it's because the recent batch of worker darts have been bad in terms of the glue or not, but I've been taking the heads off these things quite a lot. Here, let me give you a good sight down there. That was a bit slow. And see that there? These follower spring, either needs a better follower spring or a slightly looser magwell, or just a better follower on these magazines. I want to get a set of the clear katana mags in so I can do a review and see if they're any better. What you saw there, you saw the head fly off that way. You saw the head fly straight, but the foam flew off that way. These darts are just... And again, there goes the head. But yeah, I'm getting good performance out of it. I think that with a slightly longer barrel, I could get higher FPS. I might have to make a longer barrel for that, which would be even crazier, because at this point, it might as well be a rifle at this point. But yeah, I'm liking this.